Yo, 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 yo. What is happening, people? Finally, boys, we get a win. Catching up on the chat. Daily soccer stuff, what's happening? Simon G. I know that guy. That guy sounds familiar. Today's match reaction is brought to you by Blake's Atomic Grill, Detroit City's only authentic wasteland barbecue. Hey now. Blake's Atomic Grill is in the chat too. Mention DALLY SC and get 10% off a pulled pork sandwich. Cupid Redneck, what's happening, man? Just discovered my channel. Greeting from a Cuban Spaniard, moved from Madrid to the U.S. for work. Awesome, man. Welcome. You can practice your English, and I will practice my Spanish. Unfortunately, my Spanish is terrible, so we'll work on that. I'm gonna try something too, real quick, yo. Let's see. Is this gonna work? Maybe not. Maybe. Love it. We need to lose every game to have a good season. You think that? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, sometimes we get good seasons. In preseason, yeah, I get that. I get that. What an exciting first half we had. And then a snoozer second half, though. Am I right? Although we won, did not like the performance that match. You know, I got a lot of notes. I got a lot of notes on this one. I thought going into it, guys, I was feeling pretty good. I was like, okay, Vinny, Rodrigo, Brahim. What position is Brahim playing in this game? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is he a false nine? Is he a 10? Is it a diamond? Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat. Also, we are live on TikTok, too. So, TikTok, what's happening? Also, if you're watching, too, and you haven't already subscribed, I'm like 5 or 6 away from 500 subscribers on YouTube. So, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you're on TikTok, please follow as well. Making a lot more shorts here very soon with the season coming around. So, thank you. Appreciate that. Carlos said, it's just for physical activity, no tactical, false 10. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's probably what it was. He had a great chance in this one. Brahim did, but he blew it wide left. I thought he was going to get it. Now, ultimately, he does score in this game too, and I was pretty fired up about that. That goal was awesome. Vinny with just a perfect through ball to Brahim. You know, gets past the keeper and just passes it in the back of the net. You got to love that, you know. It's just a great finish from him. What else do we got going on in this game, too? I thought Fran and Lucas Vasquez, looked pretty vulnerable in the beginning of this game. What'd you guys think? I was a little worried against Madueke and Sterling on defense, but I thought they kind of came into their own eventually. The plan was long passes to Vinny. Vinny's ready, 100%. Man, Vinny looks ready to go tomorrow. If you told me Champions League is tomorrow, final, I think he's ready to go. And that I think he would be excellent and just ready just to absolutely dominate in that one. Super surprised Chelsea even scored friendlies. They look rough. Blake's Atomic Grill. You know, I don't know. They're not a great team. They have good wingers. I think Madueke should start for Chelsea, but Sterling, who knows with him. Fran's not bad. We were just used to Mendy being a wall. Yeah. No, Fran's good at attacking and on offense, right? I rate him there. Defensively, he is a liability, to say the least. I mean, it's pretty rough when we watch Fran sometimes, you know. Don't love it. I thought, though, today, defensively, like I said, didn't play great, but offensively, he just opens everything up. Just the supporting runs that he makes, I was pretty happy with that. But ultimately, you're right, we are missing Mendy really bad. I think Mendy's super underappreciated, you know, especially with the whole Alphonso Davies thing. Like, oh, let's bring in Davies, you know. and stuff like that. I mean, he might come next year. It's not happening this year. And maybe Davies is a good solution, but ultimately, I don't know. I rate Mendy defensively. I mean, he's pretty perfect for what we're asking him to do in this system. I thought defensively, Militao played great today. What do you guys think? I was really impressed with him. I talked about in my last live stream. He was a liability. I know he was recovering from the ACL, but I thought today there was a couple times his positioning was a lot better today. He had a really good block in the box. And then there was a counterattack that he basically stopped himself that I was very impressed with. So I thought he did pretty well today. I was pretty happy with that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. And then when it comes to Rodrigo, I don't know, man. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. It's not happening at all. Ramon Alvarez de Mon was saying, voice of Real Madrid on YouTube, Spain. See, unfortunately, I wish I knew Spanish so I could watch more, Spanish-speaking channels and stuff. That's pretty much why I made this channel, just because I thought there wasn't a voice for the English fans, or not England, but English-speaking fans for Real Madrid. That's why I made it. But yeah, Davies not happening. Does he think it's happening next year? We saw the problems with the crosses. Yeah, we do. No, I am live, Daily Soccer. I am. We are here. What's up, buddy? No, we do have issues and stuff with the crosses. Again, the goal that we give up, that's Fran's fault. I mean, Fran doesn't even contest that. Courtois could have done a better job trying to save it, but I don't know. Doesn't think it's happening. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's kind of up to Davies. When we're so reliant on these, free transfers and stuff, it's kind of makes it a little difficult to see, are they going to stay true and, wait it out, or are they going to, re-sign the contract or something like that? And, it's not like he's playing for a small club. It's not like, the whole Lenny Yoro situation. He's playing for a small club. Bayern Munich's a big club. I mean, that's what people, strive to achieve and to get to that level. So I'm not that surprised if he does ultimately end up staying. Mario Martin is our best player for this preseason. You think so? Man, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to try to pronounce your name. So if I butcher it, I'm sorry. Horio, I didn't notice him out there today. I was looking for him too. There's multiple times, maybe just because, which isn't a bad thing, right? Because you notice people, we noticed Vinny today just because of how awesome he is, these counterattacks and how he's running. But then you also notice people who make mistakes like Fran Garcia has done. And so for Mario Martin, he wasn't bad, but he also wasn't great in my opinion. But I don't know. Do you think he makes the first team? Do you think he's coming back? Arda was our best player. I probably put Arda, or I would probably say Vinny. Vinny coming in and right away, just let's go. You don't think Militao's ready? No way, man. I don't know, man. Militao looked good. This game in particular, I thought Militao looked really good. What do you guys think? I thought Militao played better than Rudiger today. Militao and Rudiger against Barca, they weren't great, but I thought Militao was pretty solid today. So, I don't know. I was pretty happy. Militao looked great. That's what I thought. That's just what I thought. The difference between him in early March and April and then now, it's like a 2-year difference to me. He looks so much more comfortable and everything that I feel better going into the season with Militao. We didn't get João Martinez today. I was pretty disappointed in that. I thought ultimately, I was like, okay, he's going to come in. I wanted him to start. I talked about it in my preview. I wanted him to start. ultimately. Does it even play in this one? It was the second half. Not a lot happened. It's just a training session, honestly. Mario Martinez, the next Valverde? Maybe. Never know. Hey, what's happening? I can't. FFDNV. I'm going to pronounce it already. Fatversh. Killed it. I like Nico Paz a lot. What do you guys think of him? I think he's pretty solid. When he played last year for Real, I was pretty happy with how he did. Juan was training separate. Okay. I'm curious if he's going to make the first team. I want him to. Nothing major, but he wasn't going to play. What was the deal with Arda? Because I was hearing that Arda was going to be playing midfield today. Kind of the Brahim role is what I was thinking going in. We're going to smash Atalanta. I think so. I'm going to be doing later this week. So after we do the stream today, probably tomorrow, I'll do my match recap, talking about the game. And then I'll do my match preview for the Atalanta game. And then tomorrow, August 7th, 4 Real Madrid players, they are back to training. So Valverde already said he's back. Bellingham flew back. And Mbappe. Mbappe's finally going to be practicing with the squad. I'm curious if they're going to be practicing right away tomorrow or what, just because I think right now, like as we speak, they're boarding the plane to head back to Madrid. If you could replace anyone on the Real Madrid squad, who would you replace? Ooh, really good question. I would say, man, I'm thinking starting 11, and that's a tough one. I'm like leaning Mendy. I don't know. It's either Mendy or Rodrigo for me, just because, as we saw today, Rodrigo's a left winger who's playing a right wing. Look where he was today position-wise, guys. He's constantly on the left. It's every time. It's like, oh, there he is on the left. Arda Endrick and Juan weren't ready to play. They were almost ruled out. Okay. Excited to see Valverde and Camavinga play. Yep, me too. Valverde. I love Valverde. Such a stud. Same thing with Camavinga. I think he's a stud too. They're working with Pintus first. Again, Ramon's info. Oh, okay. Good to know. Well, I mean, hey, if he's reliable, take it. I would 100% go with that. Rodrigo, not even close. I think you're probably right. Now, I have a topic, too, I want everybody to ask. Militao? Wait, I feel that Rudiger's performance decreases when he plays in Militao. Maybe. Who do you think's a better pairing than... I mean, honestly, it's probably Alaba would be the answer for that. Daily soccer, I would probably say Rodrigo, the more I think about it. I just think he's the person who's playing out of position more than anybody else in the starting 11. So I would probably go with Rodrigo in that, ultimately. Juan is very young, needs more time. I agree. I just think he's not going to be starting, week in and out. I just think he might be a decent player to make. I mean, look at our options. You trust Juan or Vallejo when it comes to CB? You think Alba's trash? He's just trash because he's hurt right now. I don't think he's trash. Alaba at his peak, when he was at Bayern, it was awesome. He was so good. Man, he was so good. Militao and Rudiger, record together is horrendous. What's the record? I'm curious about that. It's got it. There's no way it's bad. There's no way. I mean, how many games does Real Madrid actually lose? And then them together? I don't know. And then Militao was out last year. Cuban, tell me the record if you can get it. I'm really curious about that. Vallejo was the fourth center back at Granada last year, not Real Madrid. No, I don't think he is either. But I mean, who on the squad is right now other than Rudiger and Militao? I mean, Alaba if he's healthy, but he's not healthy, so we don't. So trust me, I don't want Vallejo. I mean, even Lenny Yoro, that's a risk just because how young he was. Take away the whole injury he just had and everything like that. I still think that was kind of a risk to bring him in. I'd prefer somebody else as like a third. So I don't know. What do you think? Is it Vallejo and Juan, or is it Tchouaméni? It's probably Tchouaméni who would start over those, even though he doesn't want to play there. Liga, we lost in January against Barca. We won 3 games with them, 2 starting. Tchouaméni can play always. Tchouaméni can play. He's still recovering from, he was injured toward the end of the season. Didn't play in the final. I thought he was pretty good for France. Last year, 1 draw. Then Eder got injured. Okay. Is it true that Mbappe will take free kicks? I don't think that's true. I don't think he's ever made a free kick in his life. I still think we're playing a 4-4-2, guys. I really do. Rodrigo makes me nervous just because he keeps going to the left, and if it's a 4-3-3, it's gonna be bad. Those orange kits reminded me of our atomic buffalo chicken. I like the orange kits today. Actually, I thought they were a lot better than they were before. I actually rated them today. I thought they were pretty good all time. We need good football this year, so 4-3-3 would be better. 4-3-3 would be better. I talked about it in my last live stream. I talked about it before there. And it'd be better for, like, attacking-wise. I might be lagging, guys. I'm not sure what's happening. I think I'm back. I lagged a little. 4-3-3 would be better in terms of watching experience. And I think will be something that we're playing. I just think it's going to be against lower level competition. If you're playing in Manchester City at the Etihad, it's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be a 4-4-2 with Mbappe and Vinny up top. With Mbappe on the left, I think Mbappe is playing the left winger more than Vinny will be. I mean, even today you see it with Rodrigo going more to the left. I mean, he's going across the field. I just think that's what's going to be happening. 4-3-3 is more appealing. I just think that you need the midfield. And so, mild lag, yeah. Trash connection, guys. Sorry about that. We're back, though, I think. I think we're back, so. I don't know. I thought, let's talk about that first goal. I talked a little bad about Rodrigo in this. I thought he was a little meh to start the game. But, man, that pass that he had to Brahim, which went to Lucas Vazquez, which in my prediction, I said Lucas Vazquez would score, but Danny Ceballos coming in and tapping it in. I was a little upset, but I was happy for Danny ultimately. The kits are a homage to every Galacticos season signing. First one looks like when R9 got here. Orange and Bale and gray from the Anelka winning season. I like the orange. I think they're sick. I think that's going to be a cop for the long sleeve version of it to me. I'm excited about it. Excited about getting it. I got my Mbappe white kit. That looks good. I hate the 9 though. I love the number 9. I hate the font this year. It's not good at all. So it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, I thought Courtois didn't really do much today, in my opinion, guys. He was just kind of meh out there. Like I said, he doesn't make the save, which I thought he could have put a little better effort. Chelsea kind of sucks, though, don't they? They don't. I mean, Gu in the middle, or Guy, the Barca kid, who they just got, he didn't do much. I thought he was at least going to get a shot. And Kunku didn't do a lot either. It was really just the wing. I mean, Madueke, actually, he's had a really good preseason for them. And so I was a little surprised. Are you planning to watch a Real Madrid game in the new stadium? I'd love to. I was in Madrid back in 2017. And they were I remember I have pictures on one of my old cameras, and them showing what it's going to look like now, like how it looks now. They had a little like mini replica of what it was going to look like. And that's the stadium. I mean, the Santiago Bernabeu is awesome. It's an awesome stadium. Hopefully I can get out there and watch another game, especially in the newer stadium. And I think it's the best stadium in the world right now. Thibaut Courtois is getting old. He is for sure. I mean, but I thought he looked good in the last 2 games. Today he didn't do great. You know, he is still technically recovering from the ACL. And I don't know. I thought Luna did okay today. I wasn't too mad about that. Chelsea have a long way to go for sure. Yes, Alvarez getting traded. Okay. So, Julian Alvarez going from Man City over to Atletico. What do we think about that? I'm actually excited in terms of watching La Liga. I think it's actually going to be a little more interesting. Atletico, at least the last couple of years, has been, last year especially, has been like the toughest competition for Real Madrid. And so I think adding him and Gallagher, I think it's going to be interesting to watch when we play them. That'll be interesting. But if he is worth 95 million euros, how much is Rodrigo worth? Because the reason why I say that is now that Man City has cash. Remember the whole links between Man City and Rodrigo? Is that going to be something that might happen? Is Man City going to try and come and buy them? I don't know. To me, he's like 130, 120 probably. If the backup striker for Man City is worth 95 million, and isn't Rodrigo younger? He's either the same age or he's like younger than him. He's a ton of money. Chelsea was trash. Yeah, no, Chelsea, long way to go for sure. He's at the stadium last year, obviously before the construction, the roar got louder. Amazing acoustics. It looks amazing. From everything I've seen, I think it's going to make so much money. Simeone will not use that kid to their full potential. No, he won't. He's a good coach, but he's not a great coach. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Simeone. And like I said, Atletico, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not good at all. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Rodrigo's 1 year. Exactly. Okay. So he's 1 year younger, and he's definitely accomplished more, and I would say he's a better player. I don't think that's that hot of a take. How much is he worth? 120? 130? Okay. 1 year younger. Appreciate it, guys. I don't know. I don't want to sell him. I just worry his positioning. Like I said, he's not a right winger. I don't know. I don't know who you would go and get to replace him, or is it just selling him? I don't want to sell him. He's probably never actually going to live up to his full potential playing there, and I think he's going to kind of realize that too. 120 according to Transfer Market. That's usually pretty reliable. I'm curious, what's the number for Lamine Yamal right now? Because it was like 60 or 65. It's probably higher. It's not what they'd like to say that PSG offered 250 or 300 million for him. That's not even close. There's zero chance that actually happened. If somebody offers you 300 million for a kid, Barca's taking that, especially how poor Barca is. Which they're apparently getting Dani Olmo, which I don't really think solves anything. Lamine's at 75. Okay. Do we think he's 85? Oh, 85. That's probably right. I mean, the thing with Yamal, he's good, but the sample size is really small for him. So to actually judge him fully, it's a little rough. I don't know. Would you rather have Rodrigo or Saka? Saka. I don't even hesitate with that. And I don't even think Saka's that great of a player. I put out my top 10. I did have Saka in it. I think he was like 8. Or was he 7 or 8? He's up there. But the reason why I would say that, he's a true right winger. He can deliver these balls in with his left foot, and he brings a different element. That's why I really like Arda Güler playing that position too, because Arda brings a lot of, a different type of right winger there, and it's a lot of different style. I think it might suit this Real Madrid team a lot better, especially when you have Vinny and Mbappe already covering the left-hand side and covering the middle. I think Arda might be playing more. I'd like to see that. I'm kind of curious how that's going to think. What do you guys think? Almost not needed on that team at all, and that might destroy Firmino's ego. You play awesome, and then they bring in a player in your position. Yeah, no. That's how Barca is, though. Like, their transfer strategy never makes any sense. They're like, what's the newest toy? Let me get it. I want it. I don't care. I don't care how much it costs. I mean, they joke that we pay, buy all these players and stuff. And look at them. Look how much they've spent on these kids. It's insane. So, I don't know. What do you guys think, though? So, RMA FC says Rodrigo or Saka. I would say Saka. Would I trade Militao for Tio Hernandez? Probably not. Just because, especially this build-up right now, the way the squad is. Tio doesn't solve the center back position. If it was Mendy for Tio Hernandez, I'd probably do that. Just because he's younger. He's already been in the system. Arda was brought to replace Modric by Calafat. I could see it. I see that. Is Arda going to play more of a 10 role, or is he going to play more of like a floating 8 role? Kind of like, I don't know. I'm curious about that. I love Arda, though. I rate him so highly. I think he's such a fantastic player. I think him and Brahim this year are going to be awesome. Floating 8. Yep. Yeah. That's probably, I think you're right. That's probably where he's best. In the middle of the park is where I really liked him, especially when he was playing for, Turkey. I thought he did great there. That's the expected position. Okay. What would be the best lineup with Arda? Is it 4-4-2? Is it 4-3-3? And also, where's Bellingham in that position then? Are they both floating 8s? I don't know. I'm just excited, man. We're a week away from actually seeing this whole squad together. And I think it's going to be great. I think just watching these games and watching, finally getting Kylian Mbappe and I think Kylian Mbappe and Vinny is just going to terrorize these teams. I think it's going to be so much fun to watch. I just can't wait. Cannot wait. Especially when Cruz's not here anymore to play long balls or swap. You know who I was actually impressed with the long balls in the Euros was Tchouaméni. I thought Tchouaméni did a pretty good job. I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, Arda in the game against AC Milan had a cross to Lucas Vazquez that was amazing. Yeah, he's a special talent. Atalanta lost 4-1 in a friendly, and then their striker got injured. Real Madrid should win that game, right? Ultimately, more talented team. I was actually surprised Atalanta beat Leverkusen when they played in last year. It finished Leverkusen's undefeated run. So ultimately, we should win that game. This is going to be interesting. I assume Mbappe is starting. Vinny's starting for sure. Bellingham should be starting, but it's also coming back from. That's going to be some of these guys' first game back from holiday. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens there and if they're ready to go, not having a preseason, Valverde, Bellingham, Mbappe, all that. Ancelotti's system requires someone to play side-to-side long ball, so artists fill that role. Yeah, I would agree. Would you trade Bellingham? No, I wouldn't trade. I would even consider Bellingham for Verts at all. Bellingham just turned 21. I think that's the thing we got to realize too. I like Verts. I think he's good. There's rumors that we might be interested in him next summer. I don't know where he would go, right? What position? We get linked to all these players, and then who's going to come and play? What position are they going to play? Are they going to sit on the bench? It doesn't make a lot of sense. No, I wouldn't trade Bellingham, though. I don't think so. They beat Liverpool also in the Anfield 3-0, so they're not easy. No, they're not. They're not bad. That game, though, against Liverpool was a weird one. But this was also the team from last year. And then Real Madrid added Kylian Mbappe. So I would just stick to sign his name is, I said it before, Mastratuano from River Plate. I think he's pretty, from what I've seen, he looked pretty good this is only watching YouTube highlights. I'm not watching Argentina, River Plate, or anything like that. But Is that happening? Because what I was told about him, Mesta Tuono, is that he already has, I think he's like Spanish born or something, so he could come here right now because he already has a European passport. So I'd be interested to see. I don't think he would make, he's not starting. What do you think, Cuban? Florian already had a ligament surgery. Yeah, see, and that's the thing too. I want to stay away from that. If you're paying a ton of money to, doesn't he have? That's the thing. I don't think Real Madrid's strategy anymore is let's go pay $100 million every single year for a kid. You know, they did it for Bellingham. Yeah, he's worth it. Tchouameni was at 80. Camavinga was pretty expensive too. So, Mon Sandoval, what's happening over on TikTok, buddy? I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting with them. Here's a question for you guys. When it comes to penalties this upcoming season, who's taking the penalty? We talked about free kicks with Mbappe maybe doing that. Who's taking the penalties for us? I heard Vinny. I'm curious if that's going to be just strictly Vinny, if that's going to be Mbappe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, you won't have to use a non-EU spot. That's a plus. True. That's a major plus. Mbappe. I'd probably want Mbappe taking them. Mbappe, yeah. That's probably who I'd want to take them to. You would think when he comes to Real Madrid that he's like, okay, guys, I'm taking these penalties. There's no discussion about it, right? Like, you would think that'd be part of it. I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing. I like his approach to penalties more, even if he's missed a couple. The Brazilian way, even though I love Brazil, love them, love the Brazilians, the approach to penalties is probably one of my least favorite things that they do. The slow run up and the, hesitation and everything. Hate that. Would I trade Rodrigo for Harry Kane? No, not now, just because Harry Kane doesn't really solve anything for Real, and he's on the other side, the bad side of 30. So I'd still probably take Rodrigo. Would you guys take Lamine Yamal for Rodrigo? Let me know. I'm curious. That's the one I talked about that before, but I'm curious what you guys think. He's young. He could be really good. It would never happen, but Kane doesn't solve any issues for Real Madrid. No, not right now. I like the questions of daily soccer stuff, so appreciate it. I saw you were in the chat earlier too, buddy, so hope you had a good day, and thanks for watching the live. Thanks for watching the live, everybody, too. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, if you could like the video, too, I really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed doing these. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more, too. Sometimes during the week when it's like a 3 o'clock Eastern game, probably not then, but if it's a Sunday, Saturday game, I think I'm going to definitely be trying to do some more of these in the future. So thanks really much. I really appreciate you guys. Rodrigo 110 and Kane is 100. Yeah, it's just, again, kind of what I said and what Cuban said. He doesn't really solve a need for Madrid right now, just because he's position-wise either Mbappe or Vinny's playing the center forward. Why Perez hasn't bought a new defender? I don't know, man. Let me look up. There's a number I wanted to tell you guys about. I think Mbappe's signing bonus had a lot to do with that. Also, Endrick wasn't cheap. Okay, the signing bonus I saw for Mbappe was 150 million euros divided by like 5 years or something. So it's like 30, I think it was like 35 million or something a year. Plus Endrick wasn't cheap. So adding those two together, I don't know. He was pretty expensive. So Usman, what's happening, buddy? Lovely game. It was. The first half for sure. First half was really good, I thought. Second half turned into I butcher the name. Castilla session. I don't follow the academy team as much. I might in the future. Might be watching them more. If we have, especially, we got a little sneak peek with some of them. And, Joan Martinez too. I'm curious how he's going to turn out ultimately. But yeah, I thought the first half was really good. I was pretty happy. Like I said earlier, Rodrigo I thought looked a little meh to start the game, but that pass. And honestly though, on the left he's a completely different player than he is on the right. When we look back at last year, the reason why he had a lot more goals and assists last year is because he was playing the left wing because Vinny was hurt, right? Like that's the whole thing I think we forget. That's why ultimately I don't know if he wants to stay at Madrid. I think he loves the club, but he's in a way jealous of Vinny because Vinny's a little better than him, if not maybe even another level above him. And he's playing his preferred position. If you went back and watched Copa America, which also was kind of a hate watch for me too, because the smaller pitches, I hated that, and the field quality was terrible. But Vinny's playing center forward, and Rodrigo's playing left, and then Rafinha was playing right wing. So I'm going to butcher that name, so I'm not going to. I'll say it. According to Inaki Angulo, we are not signing any center backs, as Miguel Angel, president of Football Ops, only wants differential young talents, and that's not in this market right now. I think you're right. That sounds right to me. Who's the young kid who's available right now for like $50 million that we can go sign? That everybody thought it was going to be Lenny Euro. That's not happening. There's no. The budget that I've seen is like 20 to 30 million is what they wanted to spend on a center back. That's what they wanted to pay for Lenny Euro. Then, Manchester United, would they pay 65 million pounds, which is like 75 million, 80 million euros? It was a ridiculous number. Well, you spent way too much money. Even if that kid turns out to be great, which he might be, maybe it's worth it then, but that number was insane. So 20 to 30. I think it's hard to actually find a kid who's going to be something or an experienced player that can come in and actually help for 20 to 30. That number is insane. I think they were pretty interested in the center back for Spurs, the Argentinian guy. Center back Spurs. I can't think of his name. Romero. And apparently Spurs is like, yeah, for 150 million you can have him, that's insane. He's injured for 4 months, by the way. Europe, yeah, that sucks. He gets injured right away in the preseason. Romero, yeah, no, 150 million is what they wanted for him. Apparently, right? That's what's being reported. That's an insane number. So I don't think that should be happening. Let's see. I don't know. I'm curious what's going to happen next with the squad and if we're going to be making any more moves this offseason. I don't think so. I think we're done. I want final predictions. Who's coming back with the squad? Is Joan Martinez coming back? Is he going to be in the first team? Is Nico Paz going to be in the first team? What are we thinking? At this point, Laporte for free from Al Nassr or nothing. That's who I talked about last week in my last live stream. I said bring him in just because, he's Spanish already. He knows what he's doing here. I think he would be a pretty good transition player. I'm just curious. I would think he would want to come to Real Madrid. I mean, he's already got all that money at Al Nassr. And unfortunately for Cristiano over there, they're not winning anything too. So I'd be cool with them. Jacobo Ramon and Mara Martin. You don't think I'm blanking on his name now. Why am I blanking on his name? Nico Pat. You don't think Nico's making it? I actually thought Jacobo Ramon in the last one, I thought he was pretty good. Again, with Mari Martin, I haven't noticed him, but I also haven't noticed him in a bad way too. So take that as a positive. I think that's overall a good thing. I think that's going to be good. Okay, I mentioned it last stream, but we got a couple different people in here, so I'm curious. Who's going to have a better season? Is it going to be Vinny or Mbappe? What do you guys think? I'm Team Vinny here, just because I think already being in the system, he's already played all these La Liga teams before. He's already played in every single stadium. He's already played with all these players, where this is going to be Mbappe's, learning curve and coming in here and learning exactly how to play with everybody for the first time. I think it's going to be. Oh, really? Cuban, why do you think him? Why do you think him? I think it's going to be Vinny is assisting you. Yeah, Vinny's assists are going to go up. That's for sure. And he finally has somebody who's actually fast enough to be on the counterattack with him. So I think that's a huge plus, you know. That does make it a lot easier for him. So, yeah, I think you might be right about that. Maybe. I'm curious. What do you think position-wise, though? Do you think it's going to be a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3? What do you want to see? You think Mbappe too? Man. A lot of Mbappe love. I'm surprised. It's funny because you guys say that, but the last stream, everybody was like, oh, Vinny for sure. 4-3-3. So you do think Rodrigo's starting still. Where's Bellingham? Is he in the 10? Or like a floating 8? Or is he on the left side? And then who's your middle? Valverde, obviously. Bellingham, obviously. Camavinga or Tchouaméni? I would say Tchouaméni. I'd probably do what you think of floating 8s on the left and the right, and then Tchouaméni playing the 6. With Jude doing a 4-2-4 on attack. Like Barca with Fabregas. Oh, okay. I could see that. I think it's going to be fun. No matter what it is, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, I'd love a treble. I'd love it to be time for a treble. I think a couple things for me. Go undefeated at home. That's a big one. In every competition, I want undefeated at home. I also want 100 points in the Liga. That's my goal. Are you a Real Madrid fan? Yes, sir. Been for a while. Love Real Madrid. Got into him because of FIFA and Cristiano. 4-2-3-1? Maybe. That's an interesting one. I haven't thought about that one. I want the treble so the ref buyers. That's funny. Yeah, I think that'd be. I think that'd be pretty good that we would finally have it. They're just mad because they look at their trophy case and they don't have everything. They don't have as many as us when it comes to Champions League and everything. They're just sad. They're the little brothers in Spain. They really are. I mean, you could say the same thing about Atletico, but it's even a step below. We don't have two number 5s that play 4-2-3-1. You're probably right. I don't know. All I know is I trust Carlo. At the end of the day, I think he's the best manager probably in my lifetime for sure. And, yeah, I 100% trust him. So finished sacking Poch for this championship level manager was a mistake. I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, they're just not great, man. They do look clueless. Well, you are missing Cole Palmer too. I mean, Cole Palmer, he was in my top 10 players. I think he's way better than Foden. Hold on. Where do you put Girona, Real, Atletico, Barca in the standings? I would go Real, Atletico, Barca, Girona. Girona sold a lot of their good players. One went to Roma. I think one went to Atletico. One went to Manchester City. So I don't even think Girona is making top 4. What do you guys think? I think Real, Atletico, Barca for sure in that order. Barca might even slip lower. I don't know. They're an interesting watch this season. Cole Palmer, I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to have a better campaign this season. I think it's going to be interesting ultimately to see how they do, but I don't know. Once Cole Palmer's playing again, you get a couple. Cucurella I thought was pretty good in the Euros and at the end of the year for Chelsea. Girona's falling off this season. I don't know if it's Michel or Mikel. Has never had a good second season. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, or Valverde do it. It's Athletic turn. Do you think that Atletico will do something with those signings? I think they're going to compete. I think they're a good team just in general. Just because, last year I think that's the only team we lost to. And so they've always play us tough just because they're pretty, defensive. They have some good talent on the team, even though it might be like a step below in terms of like the high tier talent. But second would be a good accomplishment for them, and actually maybe doing pretty good in Champions League, depending. The whole Champions League thing. I'm gonna have to get my whole head around it because it's different this year. It's a different format, so I don't know exactly how it's gonna work, but it's gonna be interesting. But they're a pretty good team. Julian Alvarez, though, Cole Palmer's in here. We got to talk about it. I'm struggling with the guy's name. The striker for them. For Chelsea, I can't think of his name. Nico. I think Nico had more goals than Julian Alvarez did. Granted, he's in a worse team too, but it's gonna be interesting. If you could sign one player from Barca, Chelsea, AC Milan, Barca, Lamine Yamal, take him away from them. I think it'd be funny. Chelsea, Cole Palmer, AC Milan. AC Milan. I don't know who from AC Milan. Pulisic, because I'm American. Good night, friends. See you at the next one for sure. Hala Madrid, nodding mas. Cheers, Cuban. Hey, appreciate you chatting, buddy. Catch you in the next live. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Appreciate you. Cole Palmer FC with 1.3 billion is a joke. Clown Lake out. Yeah, man, I don't know. The Gallagher thing kind of annoys me too, just because the way they treated him, and I not the vibe. I don't know. Chelsea's gonna be an interesting watch this coming up year. I'm curious how they're gonna do. And then when it comes, I think for Chelsea, a top 4 finish would be a good year for them. Jackson's overrated. Is he though? Or who rates him that highly though? I think to be overrated, you actually have to be considered like rated. I don't really rate him. Oh, overhated. Okay. 2 different things there. 2 very different things there. Overhated, I would say, sure. I would say for sure. Nico Jackson, thank you. Could not think of his name to save my life. But yeah, it's all good. So I think overall, though, boys, I think it was a good game. I think the biggest thing, though, preseason-wise, injury-free, I think if anybody got hurt, I don't know about it right now. So injury-free, I thought Arda looked really good this preseason, that the best corners in the world right now. And I'm very excited about him. Endrick, curious about how he's going to do this year. I made a video too, so if you guys haven't checked it out, I talk about him in the video, and I compare him to Julian Alvarez in his first year for Manchester City. I think the comparison's pretty legitimate in terms of what the expectations for Endrick should be this year. Too long, didn't watch. I think 30-ish games for him and maybe like 10, 15 starts against lower competition would be good. Next live stream, I'm not sure, buddy. We're going to be doing a match recap for this game on my channel really soon. And then we're going to be doing a match preview for the Atalanta game too. And then There might be some news this week. I'm curious what's going to be happening with Lunin. So if anything changes with Lunin, I'll be making an update there. Rudiger, I don't think it's going anywhere. Apparently, Saudi Arabia wanted to come and see him. And we'll see there. I don't think there's going to be any more signings. But again, if anything changes with Real Madrid, if there's any news or anything, I'll definitely be making a video on it, and we'll be talking all about it for sure. Next live stream, I would love to do the Atalanta game. Maybe a post one. Madison, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that very much. I'm so close. What am I at? I think I'm like 5 away from 500. So, like, the whole goal with this channel is to, get everybody who loves Real Madrid, who, speaks English and who doesn't have a voice, to be able to have a voice for Real Madrid, and just to share all the Real Madrid info. So, every subscription, every like, it really helps me, and it helps, share it with a lot more people too. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. Daily soccer stuff. Cheers, buddy. Hala Madrid nada más. I'll catch you on the next stream, buddy. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a better day. You think that Vinny's season will be the best season? I think so. When we look at Vinny, I could go for hours, guys, honestly, and just talk about Vinny and Guler. But Vinny, man, he just looks next level right now. This is not the kid that came in that, Benzema was talking crap about. This is a special talent. He is everything that people thought Neymar was going to be. I mean, if you think about it, his goals, I think for Champions League, I think he already has more than Neymar, and I think he's almost more than like Luis Suarez and everything now. He is a special talent. I think that we take it for granted how lucky we are that we have this kid here. I mean, hopefully for the next, 10 years, 8 years, something like that. I mean, I absolutely adore Vinicius Jr., and I think this year is going to be his best year yet. He should be winning the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. Who do you guys think should be winning the Ballon d'Or? I better not be seeing any Rodri. No, I don't want any Rodri ones. Yo, thanks for the likes over on TikTok. TikTok, what's happening, guys? Chat with me. I want to chat with you guys. Uriel 7. What's happening, buddy? Yeah, I think, though, Vinny this year, him and Mbappe, it's going to be interesting. I think the person who's going to kind of digress and kind of take a step back is Bellingham in terms of overall statistics. I still think he's going to bang in 20 goals and assists this year, though, just because he's going to come in and fill the box, and that's what he did a lot last year. Hope that the competition with Mbappe will take him to another level. I think it will. I'm not going to say aura about Real Madrid. I think it's a very overused word. Vinny is taking it 100%. Urilk, if I said your name right. I hope so. I hope he's taking it. Thanks for watching over on TikTok, buddy. Appreciate it. If you haven't followed already, I'd appreciate it too, if you like the videos. I think it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, I'm curious, Mbappe, his level. Let me look up Mbappe's numbers at PSG real quick. Because was he, the famous stat, if you look at Cristiano averaged over a goal a game. PSG, now this is Wikipedia sourcing, so take it with a grain of salt, guys. At PSG, he had 178 goals. He had 178 games at 162 goals. If we can get 200 games plus out of Mbappe and around 200 goals, that's a lot of hardware. So I'm hoping we can do it. So I do think the competition, we've seen Mbappe at the highest level, win the World Cup, do well at the World Cup. He hasn't done well at Euros. He only got the one goal. So he has played. That's the thing. Some people don't think that Mbappe's good because he plays in Liga. No, he's really good. And anybody who says that, I kind of discredit that take. Rodri will not win it. CDMs don't win Ballon d'Or, especially without winning the UCL or World Cup. I agree with you, but there's a weird thing that he has going for him, which is he plays for the Prem, and English people love the Prem. more than anything. I enjoy watching the Prem, but I enjoy watching good football and admiring good football. English people and English pundits and people who played in the Prem only watch the Prem, and so they think that, oh, since Rodri plays in the Prem, that he should win it. It's a weird thing. That trophy is weird anyways. Messi could win it. Who knows? Do you think Mbappe is in his prime, or is his prime ahead of him? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I think we'll know this year. The nose thing, I think, is something we forget about. Broken nose. How's that gonna, is that gonna hinder him this year? I think he's probably in his prime, or he's about to hit it, and maybe it's not this year, maybe it's next year. But how old is he right now? 25, turning 26 this year. Usually when, NBA players, NFL players, you are at your like athletic peak in your like late 20s, and you've had all this time. You might be a little slower in terms of, when we watch Mbappe in his first year playing in the World Cup, I've never seen any player faster than him. I think, though, that now he has the knowledge, and the issue that comes with that, though, is that people know you're good now. But I think he has the knowledge that, and like the mentality to bring it all together. And I think now is when he should be in his prime. And so, yeah, I think either this year or next year he'll be in his prime. I think probably next year he'll have a better year than this year, though. That's my take. I don't know. Good question, though. Really good question. Appreciate that one. It's going to be interesting, though, guys. I think the person I'm really hoping that we get to see a lot more is Camavinga, too. I think Camavinga is really underappreciated, and just the talent that kid has is insane. And he's somebody who Real Madrid really needs to keep around. The versatility that kid has is insane. Left back, CDM. Just put him in goalkeeper, honestly. Super flexible. Has the ability to do it all, really. Truly does. Let's see, guys. I'm curious. Last question before I leave you for tonight. Again, I love you all. I really appreciate you all watching this and, subscribing, liking this video, watching all my videos, sharing it. I really appreciate it all. Thank you so much. I think moving forward, I'm really hoping Carvajal is good to go for the next 2 years. I think he's probably going to sign a 1-year extension. That's kind of what Real Madrid does. When you get older, they're like, okay, we're going to come back next year. That's what Modric just did. That's what Lucas Vazquez did. But when Carvajal's done, who do we want as the right back of the future? Let me know in the chat. I'm really curious about that. Camavinga or Tchouaméni? Tchouaméni today. He's a better CDM. Camavinga, he's more... I don't think he's a true CDM. I think he's a little more flexible and likes to go up a little more. Where Tchouaméni's a really good CDM. What do you think? RMA FC. I think it's interesting, though. Arnold. A lot of people think that. TAA. I think that's a different type of player that you're getting if you get him. You're not getting a player who's defensively going to be great, game in and out. He's kind of liability, but in terms of crosses, in terms of link-up play, Bellingham's best friend, I think that's probably a positive. He's Scouse, though. He's a Liverpool product through and through. It's going to be interesting to see if you can actually pull a Liverpool player out of Liverpool. Something with those English players, too, unless they get their hand forced, kind of like Gallagher did today, they don't usually move overseas. Very rare to see. That's why when we see Bellingham doing it, you just have to give him a round of applause for actually understanding how big of a club Real Madrid is. Even like Barcelona, if somebody would come out of England and be like, oh, I'm going to Barcelona on my own accord, give him all the credit in the world. Shout out to Harry Kane for doing that too. Smithing table, Hakimi, is also good. Hakimi is good, Real Madrid product, right? Already played here before, didn't get the minutes and stuff, but what's his contract with PSG right now? Even though we have all this money in the world, he's cheap. We're pretty cheap right now when it comes to spending. Let's see. On transfer market, guys, 60 million, and he signed until 2026. So maybe next season. You wish he would return? He would. I think he's pretty good. Again, there's not a player like Carvajal. Like defensively, I've heard Dumfries too over for Inter Milan. He's pretty decent. I don't know ultimately who we think is as a right back would be the solution. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Hakimi might be good options though. I think we're ultimately going to find out next season though. I think we're bringing in one next season for sure. So it's gonna be pretty interesting there. He plays in prison Saint-Germain. Sadly, yeah, you're right. That is a weird club. That is a weird club. We just saw, is it João Neves, the kid from Benfica, just go there? That's interesting. I'm curious how that team's going to do moving forward. They have a lot of money, that's for sure. They have talent on that team, but no Mbappe. It's going to be interesting. Are they going to be actually getting, competing in Liga 1? Is somebody going to be challenging them? How are they going to do a Champions League? I don't know. That's going to be an interesting thing. The whole mentality of that club is weird, I prefer Theo Hernandez more than Davies. I do too, to be honest with you. Him being somebody who's already played here, I think that's a positive. I'm assuming he speaks Spanish. If not, he's a French player. We have a lot of French players already out there, so taking one French player over another, I don't know how much of an upgrade either of them are over Mendy, though. But again, Mendy is getting older. I think that's the pro that Davies says. Davies said a bad season. He did. You know what else, smithing table? He gets hurt a lot. That's kind of Davies' issue. Saliba and Tio were beasts in the Euros, 100%. No, Saliba's good. Saliba's really good. If Saliba would be somebody that maybe we get in a year or two, I would love that. I think he's a really good center back. So, what do you think, though, over on TikTok? You real? Is Saliba top 10? Somebody was commenting on one of my TikTok videos saying Saliba, I missed out on him being in my top 10. I don't think he's top 10. But yeah, Saliba did good in the Euros, and I thought Tio did good too. And Tio and Mbappe link up really well too. That's the positive over there for them. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious too, is Atletico done? Also, where'd they get all this money from all of a sudden? How do you have 95 million to play for Julian Alvarez? And then what, they pay 40 million for Gallagher? I guess Chelsea's doing a swap with them for like 35 million. So I guess you only have to pay 5 million, but still 100 million? I don't know where all this money came from all of a sudden. Seems kind of questionable. Unless they sold somebody else. But didn't they get the Ukrainian guy too? Mendy is useless against defensive teams. You're probably right, but I mean, when we think about this, though, smithing table, what's he need to be? You don't think Vinny, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Guler, Brahim, Bellingham is enough attacking-wise? I mean, I think Mendy is really important when it comes to defensively. I think he's a wall, You look at how he did in the Champions League final. He looks a little awkward out there sometimes. I just think he's a stud. I really do. I rate him. I like him a lot. Atletico was also Le Normand in Zubimendi. Yeah, so they got better. They got better. They should be getting second. Again, this is La Liga is a 100% a necessity for Real Madrid this year. Champions League, it's always, I think, whoever wins between them and Man City, ultimately. And that could be in the final, that could be in the quarterfinals like this year. That's the favorite every single year for the next foreseeable future, unless they get their 115 regulations or whatever coming down on them. That's going to be what's happening. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But what do you guys think Brahim's best position is? And do you think he's going to be somebody that just comes in as a sub all the time? Or do you think he's somebody who could possibly even work their way in the starting lineup? I don't think so, ultimately. And I really like Brahim. I mean, even look today. That finish that he gets on that goal is just class. He's a great player. How do you think Endrick will perform with Real Madrid after a controversial Copa America? I don't take a lot of... I don't really care about the Copa in his performance overall, which I guess you can be like, how do you not take that? I just think Copa America is an interesting dynamic, and it kind of annoys me being an American how poorly that showing was for America. They're playing on fields that aren't even regulation size. The pitches were awful. And, I mean, even the stadium security and everything in, like, the Miami one, like, that's a joke. But that's not even, like, football related. The game that specifically I think you're talking about for Endrick is when he started against Uruguay. I think I have two numbers in my head. It's one of the two. It was either 41 or 43 fouls in a 90-minute game. Think about that. 41 or 43 fouls in a 90-minute game. So that game is just constantly stopping and going and stopping and going. So could he get a lot going in that game? No. I think overall, let me tell you the exact number too for Endrick in that. If you guys don't use it, FotMob is an awesome app, awesome website. I have no affiliation with them. It's just a fantastic website, so highly recommend it if you guys don't use that. But let's see, Copa America. Let's see. He played 124 minutes in Copa America. So it's tough to judge him on that. He basically played almost 45. I think he played more than that in like either more or just about that in like 2 or 3 games in the preseason. So I'm not going to judge him on 124 minutes in Euros. I will judge him this season. In Uriel, if I'm saying your name wrong, I'm really sorry about that. Over on TikTok, I think the thing too with Endrick this year, this is a learning season, and he's a long-term project for Real Madrid. I talked about it on one of my YouTube videos before, but I think 30 games would be ideal for him this season, with about 10 to 15 goals and assists. I think that's an ideal target for Endrick this year. Is that doable? Maybe. It's going to kind of depend. Does Real Madrid have it locked up in terms of, you know, the La Liga and everything like that? And does he get a chance to play? Also, how much does Carlo trust him to go play these lower competition teams? That's going to be an interesting thing too. He has all the talent in the world. Physically, I think he's pretty stout. I compared him. I think he's like Brazilian Sergio Aguero. Ultimately, does he live up to be a Sergio Aguero? Time will tell. The kid's 18, just turned 18. Long way to go for him. He's not going to have the opportunity that, you know, a Lamine Yamal does starting week in and week out, but I think he'll be good. H1Z1, what's happening, buddy? Atletico bought Zorloth only for $30 million. It's a good deal. That is a pretty good deal. Is that really how much they paid? Wait a minute. Is he the one I'm getting confused with? He's the Norwegian who put 4 goals against us. Why did I think I got him confused with the Ukrainian kid then? Interesting. That is a good deal. I mean, that kid probably gives Lunin nightmares, honestly. I feel bad for him. Okay, let's see. You guys have any other questions for me about the game or anything? Any thoughts? What do we think? I think I'll wrap it up on my thoughts, and if you guys have any more, we'll chat about that real quick. But I thought it was a great first 45 minutes for Real Madrid. I thought Vinny looks 100% ready to go. If the Champions League final is tomorrow, I feel very confident in that kid. He's a stud. Best player in the world, in my opinion, today, if you had to put a ranking on it. Feel very confident about him. I continue to love Brahim, everything that he brings, off the bench. Whenever he's on the pitch, man, he just, something about him. His control, his finish, he's just cool, calm, and collected. He had one missed opportunity in this game, but overall, I thought he was great. Rodrigo is not a right winger. He is a left winger, and when he's on the left, he looks good. And ultimately, that might be his downfall at Real Madrid, that he keeps going to the left. And if he's asked to stay over the right, I don't know how he will do. I thought Militao did a lot better today. Happy with him. Courtois could have done better. Fran Garcia is a little bit of a liability on the defense, but on attack, I rate the kid. I think he's pretty good on attack and opening up lanes. I think he's pretty good. Modric is awesome still. 38, turning 39 here soon. Still looks like one of the best center mids in the world. I think he's going to be really important for Real Madrid this year, and I would not be surprised if he's starting at least half the games this year. They said he looks a lot better shape than he did last year, and with Kroos being gone, I think he has a real opportunity to play a lot more this season. So it's going to be interesting. I would love to see another center back come in. Ultimately, I don't know if Joan Martinez is going to be the kid or not. But ultimately, I would like to see another center back come in over either a right back or a left back, with the whole Trent Alexander-Arnold thing, or the, Tio Hernandez, or more specifically the Alphonso Davies thing. So we will see. But I will be back again later this week. I'll be making my match recap of the game. So talking a little bit more. I'll probably rewatch the game tomorrow morning, just to, at least the first half. Second half, I won't even bother with, just because it was a training session in the second half. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'll be back with my match recap later this week, and then if there's any new news, I'll be updating you guys on my YouTube channel with transfer rumors, if Lunen's going to be leaving, I'm not sure about him, anything like that, anything related to Real Madrid, I'll be updating on my channel. And then a week from tomorrow, we play Atalanta, and I think that will be the debut of Mbappe, Vinny, and Rodrigo up top. Bellingham should be back. Valverde should be back in that game. And so hopefully we can start off the year with a cup, with a trophy, and have a really good, successful year. So, guys, I appreciate you all watching this. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. This only gets it to more Real Madrid fans. And on TikTok, if you guys are watching, if you could give me a follow too, if you like this content, if you like some of my shorts, I really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, thank you so much. I really enjoy doing all these lives. Really appreciate you all. I'll catch you guys in the next one, okay? Cheers. Hala Madrid.